Hey everyone, it's great to see you again. If you remember, all month we've been talking about doing things as Jesus did. Remember the first Sunday of October? We talked about resisting temptation, just like Jesus resisted the temptation of Satan. Then last week we talked about praying, and seeking God's will in our lives, just as Jesus did. And today we're going to be talking about spreading God's love. And God will help us show love just as Jesus did to the people while he was here on earth. Today, before we get into our Bible story, I want to talk to you about opposites. Do you know what opposites are? Like, let's think if something's really hot. What's the opposite of hot? That's right, cold. So as we talk about Zacchaeus today, I want you to listen and see if you can think of any opposites in our Bible story. And remember, when something's opposite, it's totally different. Remember, the opposite of tall is something short. So listen in our story and see if you hear about any opposites as we're reading Luke 19 verses 1 through 10, talking about how Jesus loved Zacchaeus. Jesus was traveling through Jericho, where a man named Zacchaeus lived. You're right, that Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus was a chief tax collector, and he was very rich. Zacchaeus was in charge of collecting taxes for the Roman government from the Jewish people in Jericho. Zacchaeus was not liked very well. Not many tax collectors were. Often they cheated people. So when Jesus came into town, a large crowd gathered to see him. Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus too, but Zacchaeus was a short man. He could not see over the crowd. So Zacchaeus ran ahead. He climbed into a sycamore tree, a tall tree, to see Jesus as he was passing by. When Jesus came by, he looked up into the tree and he saw Zacchaeus. "Come down, Zacchaeus," Jesus said. "I want to stay with you today." Zacchaeus hurried down from the tree. He was happy to welcome Jesus into his home. When the people saw what happened, they complained. "Zacchaeus is a sinner," they said, "and Jesus is going to stay at his house?" The people knew that many tax collectors were dishonest and cheated people. They took more money from people than they should. Zacchaeus told Jesus, "I will give half of everything I have to the poor. And if I cheated anyone, I will pay back 4 times as much." Jesus told Zacchaeus, "Today you have been saved. I have come to seek and save the lost." Wow, did you hear about that love Jesus had for Zacchaeus? He wasn't concerned about all the wrongdoings he had done to people. He had the biggest heart and love to share with Zacchaeus. Now, back to those opposites. Did you hear any in our story? Oh, you're probably thinking about Zacchaeus. Yeah, he was a short, wee little man, but he climbed up in a tall sycamore tree. So short and tall. What about Zacchaeus climbs up and Jesus said, "Come down"? What's the opposite of up? You're right, down. And you know what? Zacchaeus was very happy when Jesus told him to come down. But how did the other people feel? You're right, they weren't very happy at all. They were complaining. Why would Jesus be wanting to go to this sinner's house? You know, when we choose and we build that relationship with Jesus and we follow him, we have to be an example just like him. We have to follow his example. When we're making a choice, we can't make it for ourselves. We need to make the choice that shows that Jesus is living in our hearts. We have to choose to follow him and show that to others. How did Jesus treat Zacchaeus? Did he say, "I know he's a sinner. I gotta stay far away from him. Glad he's in that tree. I don't even have to get near him"? Certainly not. Jesus certainly didn't treat Zacchaeus like that. Zacchaeus showed so much love and compassion for Zacchaeus. And as we live just like Jesus did, we want to show that same love to others. God helps us show this love to all people, just as Jesus did. Let's come back to those opposites. Think of a good friend you have. It's probably pretty easy to show love to them. But the opposite of a friend may be someone we don't know as well. How easy is it to show love to them? Just because we don't know them doesn't mean they don't need Jesus in their hearts. Doesn't mean we don't need to show them love. Well, what about someone who's the same as us? They're in the same grade, they come to the same school, and they look like us. Yeah, it's probably pretty easy to show love to them. But let's think of the opposite of that. What if they don't look like us? Maybe they don't even speak the same language as us. Is it as easy to show that love that God wants to pour out of us? Maybe, but maybe not. But God wants us to love each and every person we come in contact with the same way. Even if it's someone nice or maybe someone mean, we should still show love to that person. Maybe by us pouring out our love that Jesus has given us will help that mean person to maybe flip over and become nicer. Even the quiet people or even the loud people, they all need Jesus' love. So think about that this week. Maybe the new kid in class, maybe someone new to your neighborhood. Are we showing them that same love that we show our best friend and our parents and our grandparents? God will always help us show that love to everyone we come in contact with. So I challenge you, are we treating everyone the same? Even the Zacchaeuses that we come across, are we showing them God's love? I hope you have a great week. I'll see you soon.